What's up, everybody? Mr. Right Way here. I am at Double Jump Games once again with my buddy Coop. How you doing, brother?
Doing good.
You like saying, "What's up, peeps?"
What up, peeps?
There you go. We always want to hear that. So today's video, as you've seen in the title, this is the perfect time to get a PlayStation 3. Now, guys, you know I love the PlayStation format system. Love PlayStation 1, 2, and 3. This is the time to own a PlayStation 3. And first reason why you should own a PlayStation 3 now is the games are cheap. Coop, talk about how these cheap games are. You own the store, you can get a lot of PlayStation 3 games in.
In my experience, for the PS3, 90% of the games we sell for 13 bucks or less. 90% of them.
Look at that.
And
What a comeback.
that goes for other consoles too, but PS3 definitely.
But you got Kratos on. You can get Kratos on this one.
There's a lot of really awesome games for PS3 that are, you know, AAA titles, beloved franchises, stuff like that, where the games are just inexpensive because they sold really well.
People still love Call of Duty too.
Yep.
And
That's one of the best-selling PS3 games in our store.
And it's $9.
There's a reason that the games are cheap, and that's because they sold a ton of them. And they sold a ton of them. People love the games.
Yeah.
It is pretty easy to find really high-quality, good titles for $5.
Mm-hmm.
Games like Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, you know, Battlefield, Little Big Planet, stuff like that. You know, there are some expensive games on PS3, but even like the popular, rare, or expensive games are not that much still.
Yeah.
Like, some of the most expensive PS3 games we ever get here are like still under $100.
That might not be for long, but like I said, if you're starting a new collection out and you want to know where to start it, the PlayStation 3 is a great place to start. Yep. Another thing about the PlayStation 3, guys, actually play original PlayStation 1 games on a PlayStation 3. Nothing. All you gotta do is open up the case, take the disc out, pop it in. Look, we got Brave Fencer Masashi, but that's coming on with me. You can play Final Fantasy original, a good skating game, or Street Fighter EX Plus Alpha, super great game. PlayStation 3 plays PlayStation 1 games. That's doubling your library right there. So you can collect for the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 3.
Yeah, and we end up telling a lot of customers, because, you know, most of our customers are not hardcore collectors. They're just your average people. They don't know you can play PS1 games, and when we tell people that, they're super surprised.
Yeah.
Because not every PS2 will play PS2 games. We'll talk about that in a bit, but they will all play PS1. And so a lot of people, they get really excited about that because they're like, oh, I can get, you know, Twisted Metal and Spyro and Crash Bandicoot and Ape Escape and all these games. That is really cool. Especially now, you don't see a lot of backwards compatibility where it skips a generation. Yeah. Like, you know, the PS5 will play PS4 games, but the PS5 doesn't play PS3 games.
No.
Right? There might be some downloadable ones you can get from the shop or whatever, but it's really cool that they allow you to play PS1 games on there, and it's actually easier than playing PS1 games on a PS1 because with the PS3, you don't need a memory card.
That's a good thing
create
too.
A virtual memory card.
Virtual memory card. It is so cool, guys. It takes like less than a minute, but that's a good thing. I guess let's talk about next is the different models of the PlayStation 3, because it's like several different models. You have the fat, you have the slim, and then you have the ugly. This is the ugly right here.
Super slim.
This is super ugly. This is a super ugly PlayStation 3. Don't buy that one, y'all. But it's cheap. I don't like that sliding mechanism. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's kind of an unfortunate design that it like slides like that. We see a lot of them where
they break.
They break pretty easy.
They break really bad.
It's really helpful to like clean the inside of the console if you need to. But the sliding function breaks a lot. We see them come in where you try to close it and it just opens right back up again, and it won't stay closed. So,
this right here is, I guess, the PlayStation 3 Holy Grail. When this Joker came out, it was like, what, $600?
Yeah, something crazy.
Like $650 or something like that. Y'all think the PlayStation 5 is expensive. The PlayStation 3 fat 60 gig was expensive. But why was it expensive? Because it played PlayStation 1, it played PlayStation 3, and also played fully backwards compatible PlayStation 2 games. It was a heck of a deal. Now getting these, you're probably going to pay a PlayStation 5 price almost, right? Close to it, like $399?
At least. We have sold them without the box the prices fluctuate a little bit, but I think at the peak they were like $350.
Okay, that's what I was thinking about.
And this is for
350.
a pre-owned one, you know, cables, one controller, no box or anything.
Better than DK Oldies.
But they
refurbish their stuff. They clean their stuff, not DK Oldies.
But yeah, this original model is the only one that will play PS2 games. There's also a version of the fat PS3 that doesn't play PS2 games, and we don't even take those here at our store because those original fat models, they used lead-free solder in them, and they have overheating problems, and if your console overheats and it melts all that solder, it kind of ruins it. Even if you do find a backwards compatible unit, you have to be really careful. If you can get an intercooler for it, that's like a little fan that attaches to the back of it, that's super, super helpful in prolonging the life of those consoles because a lot of them do not work. They kind of get the yellow light of death. It's like the equivalent of the red ring for the Xbox, but...
I've been there.
Yeah.
But tell everybody why this one is like the best PlayStation 3 value right here.
So this is the Slim. The PS3 Slim, it is the model we get the most of. And these ones are super reliable. They fixed the solder issue, so you don't have to worry about the yellow light of death. They still can have issues like any console, but these ones tend to last a lot longer than the fat models do.
This is actually my favorite PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
Even though I have the 60 gig model is great.
These ones here, they have like a very matte, like textured finish to them. So it's actually kind of hard to scratch one of these, at least to the point where like you can see it without being close up.
This going for $149, right?
This is $150 in the box.
In the
Typically, without the box, depending on the hard drive size, at least at our store, they could be anywhere from like $90 up to like $130.
That's good.
So,
another good thing about the PlayStation 3. You might go down a rabbit hole on this one, guys. Yeah, I should leave that one in. That's funny. DVDs and Blu-rays. Especially DVDs are cheap as I don't know what. And Blu-rays are getting even cheaper.
Yeah, you can find DVDs at most thrift stores and stuff.
For like $1.
Yeah, like $1 a lot of times, $3. But yeah, if you're into movies, like if you're into games and movies, then
Perfect
something
console.
like the PS3 is
Perfect.
because it'll take care. I mean, just one PS3 console, you can play DVD, Blu-ray, PS1, and PS3, all just in one thing. And I know that like Xbox tries to make their consoles like an all-in-one kind of entertainment thing, and I think that they're doing a good job. But like back when this came out,
They did it.
you know,
It was already done.
It's like the perfect thing.
It was a perfect thing. That's
Especially
one
if you
thing.
get the backwards compatible unit, you can play PS1, 2, 3, and DVDs and Blu-rays.
It's a lot of good stuff, y'all.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. Another thing, this is my favorite part of the PlayStation 3. We got exclusive PlayStation 3 games. Games that you would not play anywhere else. They are still trying to figure out how to port over Metal Gear Solid 4. I mean, this game is huge, mostly cutscenes, but it's such a good game. It's such a great game. Ratchet and Clank. Here's the, what? It's Ico, right? The Shadow and the Colossus.
Ico.
I don't know. I say
heard it both
Ico.
ways.
These collection discs like Ico and like Journey, and they got like God of War, Killzone, a lot of those games, $30 at the most. They are great collection pieces. Katamari Forever, such a great game. People sleep on this game. I'm telling you, MotorStorm, dude, I play so much. This game still holds up today. The graphics in this, the physics in this game, like when you're going through the mud and when you fall off your bike, the ragdoll physics is so hilarious. Games from the PSP, God of War Origins. These two games are missed, but these Chains of Olympus and Ghosts of Sparta was on the PSP. These two games in the God of War series are really underrated. A lot of people didn't play this. Talk about PlayStation 2 games that get remastered, God of War 1 and God of War 2. Now, everybody loves God of War on the PlayStation 4 and 5, but this is where it started at. You can go back and relive history. It's so good. I really do think like the PlayStation exclusive library is really good because they don't, if you're into RPGs, so many RPGs. Ooh, another thing people don't know about, region free. The PlayStation 3 is region free. So if you see a game that's super expensive, buy the Japanese version and play that. Or do you want a different gaming experience? Buy a Japanese game. Now the movies won't work on it because it's a region 2 Blu-ray. It's not a region 2 Blu-ray player. So if you get a Japanese DVD, Japanese Blu-ray movie, it won't work. But the game, it will.
There's a couple games that are not region free, but it's only a couple, like literally a couple. Generally, Japanese copies of games are always cheaper.
Yeah,
when
always.
it comes to PS3, a lot of the games are pretty cheap anyway, so it might not be worth it to try to import a game that you could get for $5 here. But if you're looking at any of the more expensive ones, or like you said, if you're into RPGs and stuff, they obviously release a lot more of those in Japan. So some of those games we may not have even gotten here to begin with. So if you're really, really into that kind of stuff, there's definitely more to find. So for me, I am not like a huge PlayStation person.
Okay.
I played a lot of PS1 and PS2 when I was younger, but by the time the PS3 came out, I had a 360, and I was kind of all in on that.
360 was so good too, I ain't gonna lie.
I did get a PS3 at some point, and I think I was like in high school, like early high school, and I'm not a PlayStation guy, but I loved Uncharted.
Oh, so good.
I'm pretty sure I played the first 3 on PS3, and I played Little Big Planet, played a few other games, but man, growing up playing Tomb Raider with my dad, we both really liked those games on PS1. We played every single one, and then when I played Uncharted, it really reminded me of
Tomb Raider. Yeah.
Me mostly being a Nintendo person, you know, I played Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube, and then kind of going from that into PS2, you know, Xbox, GameCube era. But then the jump to PS3, the graphics were so much better.
Was.
And I'm not generally someone who cares too much about graphics. It's usually all about the gameplay for me. Maybe it's different going back to it now, but when I played the first Uncharted game, I was like, man, this looks so good.
That's a good thing too, because a lot of PlayStation 3 games still hold up. I really think the PlayStation 3 is the perfect console for any new collector, because we have a lot of new collectors coming into the market now, you know, and they want like, what should I collect? I get that a lot. What should I start out collecting? Start out with the PlayStation 3. If you love role-playing games, I know a lot of you guys out there watching love role-playing games. Picking up a PlayStation 3 is really cheap, and find them in the garage sales or pawn shops are even cheaper, because nobody is like looking for them right now. So get ahead of the curve. We already had one PlayStation scare with the shop. They're gonna close that thing soon. Get ahead of it. This is not trying to scare you to buy something. I'm just telling you, it's the collectors. You watch these videos, make sure you try to get a PlayStation 3.
Even if you stick with just the greatest hits releases,
you're just gonna
play awesome games.
Yeah.
They only re-release them like that if they sell a bunch of copies.
Yeah.
So
you probably have like 10 stinkers, but I mean, you're still gonna, but you have some good games.
Yeah.
You have a lot of good games. Metal Gear Solid 4, amazing game. What do you price this in the store?
I'm not 100% sure, but it would probably either be somewhere between $4.99 and $9.99.
Okay, it's around that, depending on the condition and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not an expensive game.
No, it's not an expensive game, but it's a good game.
That's how lots of them are. A lot of the games are pretty affordable. I don't really like to use the word cheap very often because it has like a negative connotation to it.
Okay, I can understand that.
The games are cheap. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
But calling a game cheap.
Cheap, because like the game is fun, but it's inexpensive.
Yeah, it's inexpensive. It's
very
affordable.
Inexpensive. Affordable. Yeah.
It's a great deal. Yeah, you can pick up a stack of PS3 games, like, even from a retro video game store where, you know,
$50.
the prices are going to be higher than a thrift store. Yeah, for $50, $100, you can be set.
Oh, you can start a good collection for $100 for a PlayStation collection.
And if you're going to play all those games, if your goal is to play and beat all the games, you can spend $50 and get a year's worth of gameplay.
You can.
Especially if you're getting games like Grand Theft Auto 5 or Skyrim, like these games that, you know, Skyrim is a $5 game, and my girlfriend has played that game for thousands of hours.
Just bring $5 to a local game store like Double Jump. So let me get Skyrim.
Skip having one coffee.
Yeah, one coffee.
And you can get a game that you're going to play for hundreds of hours.
Hey, the coffee will be gone before the game will, y'all.
Exactly.
Well, man, I want to thank you so much for joining me today on the channel. If they don't know, I know everybody on the internet know you, but if this is your first time watching, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Make sure you turn on the notification on your cell phone also. But where are you at now?
So I own a video game store in Vancouver, Washington called Double Jump Video Games. We have our own channel. It's called Double Jump Video Games.
And they just hit over 100,000 subscribers, guys. Make sure you go there and subscribe to them, and congratulations in the comments. Tell them congratulations, because I want to be there next too. We'll be there. We'll be there one day. But this store is amazing. I already did trades, y'all. But thank you so much for joining me today. And guys,
thanks for having me.
Go out and look for a PlayStation 3. It's a great system to own. And always remember to do it the right way. See you next time.